like when Taylor added the comedy stool at the Second Chance, the little stool that's there, like a little bar stool, but like it's not a bar stool that's in the Second Chance saloon. Like their bar stools it's like this, they have a back to it, and his is just a normal, like just a normal sitting bar stool. So he brought
a stool with him, like his own stool.
Yeah, I think so. I think he went out and bought a stool because people were making comment because they were like, man, there's nowhere for me to put anything, drink or book or whatever. They were like, oh, there's nothing for me to set anything on, and so or to sit on. And so like the next week he was like, hey guys, I got a comedy bar stool. Please be careful with it. So I think he went out and bought it. I think he went out to like a Goodwill. And bought a bar stool.
That's their fault. It's their fault for being like, this might be better for me to say than my material.
Yeah.
Let me just make an observation that's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just take your.
That's the thing. I don't even think they did that. I think they talked to him. Like they went up and they were like, hey, you know what you really need? You need to get a bar stool.
What the fuck, man? I'm cool with the darts behind me. I'm cool with the dartboard. Okay. I'm cool with this banister to my left. Cool with all of that. Where's the stool?
Where's the stool, man? I need a fucking bar stool. Yeah, he's so fucking unprofessional, dude.
So unprofessional.
So unprofessional.
I'm cool with the aquarium glass on this wall and in the pool hall area. I'm cool with a lot of things, but the lack of a bar stool
that echoes out into the main room.
Yeah.
It's like, man, when people are playing, it's like, oh, you could be in a bigger dick.
What a cool. I'm going to miss that when I go back because
Second Chance.
Yeah, because I mean because of the utility of it,
mm-hmm.
the practical side of it, a lot of the rooms here are very low ceiling.
Yeah.
Right? For wintertime, keeping the heat.
Mm-hmm.
You go further south, higher ceilings kind of lets everything escape,
breathe and stuff. Yeah,
like it doesn't help with the laughter. You
right.
like get the echo off the top, like makes the room feel more full.
Mm-hmm. You have to actually like be funny.
No, not that, but like it just feels better. I don't know.
Yeah,
this is a cooler experience, I think.
Yeah.
Do you want to eat food in like a tavern or in a warehouse? Right, you want to be like a little cozy kind of
tavern.
You want
tavern for sure.
Cozier, comfortable, less exposed. You're like, oh, I can laugh. I can.
And warehouses are filled with Chinese kids, working, making iPads, and you don't want to be anywhere near that.
When I go
it's
back,
really difficult to be funny.
I'm gonna go find someone, maybe an owner of or the manager of like a Sam's Club,
mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna make that proposition. Like, hey, I noticed the sporting good aisle doesn't get a lot of traffic. I can bring you 10 comics once every week. And they'll bring people.
Sam's Club open mic. That's an ingenious idea. I love it.
It's going to be lit.
You like make the stage like it's like when people go in there and they make like a thing in the toilet paper aisle. And they make like the toilet, like they go inside, they move the toilet paper around, so they make a little fort.
What?
You haven't seen this? Oh yeah, so it's like a challenge. It's like a challenge to try to stay overnight once the store closes. You go to like the toilet paper or the paper towel section, and you make a fort. Like you make it so you hollow it out, but then make a wall.
Like in a Sam's Club, or is it like a regular Walmart?
No, like a Sam's Club. Well, so I mean, you can do a Walmart if it's big enough.
Yeah, there's one of the shelves.
Yeah. But that's why they usually go to a Sam's Club because they're really big. Because it's like the toilet paper aisle will be 2 aisles. You can go down one aisle and down the other, and that's because they just have they don't have a wall. Like they just have the entire thing filled with it, so people will go in and hollow it out and make a fort, and then try to stay overnight. And yeah, there's people have done that where they've gone to the carpet section and gotten carpet and then put it down, and like they've actually made like entire like man caves in this in Sam's Clubs and stuff.
Wow.
But what you can do is you can just do that, but make a stage.
Oh yeah.
Like go to that section and just hollow it out, but then put a stage with a little mic stand and be like, hey guys, welcome to aisle G75. We're gonna be doing open mic here in about 30 minutes, so you guys can just go down to the camping section, grab a stool, come back, sit down, and we'll enjoy the show.
It's gonna be, pretty highbrow, pretty sophisticated stuff. Because you can't just not just anybody can come to a Sam's Club.
Yeah, you can't just tell dick jokes at Sam's Club. You have to be
a member to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So comics are gonna be expected
already a paying gig
to dress to the nines.
Mm-hmm.
These people.
Yeah. So
these
you
are
heard
businessmen. These are, I also keep it clean because a lot of moms.
Yep. Kids.
A lot of large families.
Yeah.
So
I know people were actually like, "Do you want to go eat at Sam's Club?" Like, okay, like that's where they go for lunch, and they don't work there. They just have like a membership, so they're like, go eat in the food court area.
Apparently, that's like a pretty good deal. Like Sam's Club, Costco, you get like you get a hot dog, and a large soda for $1.50.
Oh, see, that's pretty good
at Costco.
But it's not worth the membership, I think.
Oh, you don't even need a membership to eat there.
Oh, you don't?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's
just
neat.
Mosey on up. Like, give me a Frank and a Dr. Pepper. I don't want to say Dr. Pepper, but
A Franken?
A Frank.
A Frank.
A Frank.
Oh, a Frank. Give me a Frank and a Dr. P.
Dr. P.
But yeah, you heard it here, folks. Off the Border. It's gonna be
it's gonna be solo
hosting Sam's Club open mic.
Oh.
On Thursdays.
Friday
evenings. Well, Fridays they're usually busy because they have live music.
I mean, we want to keep it open, right? You go to the manager, say, hey, it's
just give it to us.
It's low risk, potentially high reward. We'll take your slowest day, and don't just cancel us after 2 or 3 shows. Give us a little run, and we'll prove to you
I'd probably
what
say
kind
Tuesdays. Tuesdays is probably the day where nobody wants to go to Sam's Club.
Kind of good pool we can bring you.
Yeah. This is off the Border podcast with Steven and
Mark. Soon to be just Steven.
Soon it will be just me.
Or
me
Steven,
and whoever I can drag about.
Or Steven and his friend that really wants to be on the podcast. Hey friend, you listening?
No, he doesn't listen to this. He just wants to be on it.
He just what a narcissist.
This is gonna be a test. I'm gonna let him listen to this episode, and then if he comes back and he's like, dude, what the fuck? Then he'll pass the test and he can be on the show.
What if he has his own YouTube music algorithm, but he's just searching for references to himself? He'll just he's gonna send him an Amber Alert thing to his phone. Beep, 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 beep. You're on the podcast. I mentioned you.
That you know what? I wish I could do that, but not enough of my friends have a social media thing that I could try to connect that to, because there are people I talk about. And then, I'd like for them to know that I did. Because, number one, they'd watch it, which is, the most important thing. But I'd be able to tell them, be like, hey, I mentioned you on the podcast. And they would just get to their phone and be like,
Yeah, that'd be
you
cool.
were mentioned. But it's I can't do it. Because even if there was a way to, again, link their social account, it's I have friends who, don't have anything. So it's I can't fucking message
It'll probably cost you about $3 to get some kid in China to do all the programming.
To make all the
And then you'll be good. You'll be solid.
$3 US?
3 of anything. I think it's kind of like when you make a deal with the devil.
Oh, okay.
Or a warlock.
Because I was gonna say $3 US. That's still too rich for my blood. I'll just go down to South America.
They'll be like, bring me the root of Goonsbane and a flask of Rudenkeim and 1 Dr. Pepper. And you're like, all right, it's just a 3. So that rule of 3.
Oh, got you. I like how the doctor, bring me the root of a rare flower, and also, just while you're out, just give me a Dr. Pepper if you don't mind.
Yeah. I don't know if I would want people. I don't think I've really mentioned too many people. Usually when I mention people and I don't say their name, it's because I'm talking shit.
Right. Yeah. Oh God, that reminds me of a story.
But if it's something good, I'll usually say their first name.
Mm-hmm. So see, and that's the thing. Most of the time, it's something good, so I'm mentioning them by name, because I'm not normally a shit talker. But that reminds me, I was at work a couple days ago, and I was in the break room just chilling, just chillaxing, and this guy, I'll call him Max. Max, which is messed up because it's actually not the guy I'm talking about. But I do work with a Max, so it's there is still a guy there named Max, but I'm not talking about that Max. I'm making him an alias,
like a Maximilian.
Yeah, Maximilian. So Maximilian is sitting at a table behind me, and this girl walks up. I'll call her Christina. I don't think I work with a Christina. So Christina comes in. She likes to talk a lot about shit I don't care about. And it's very annoying because it's like I'm not that kind of person who's like, I don't care. Can you just let me leave me alone for my 15 minutes? Like I was trying to watch a YouTube video, but she just came up and was like, man, and I'm like, yeah. Well, she ends up like talking and then ends up like mentioning Maximilian. She's like, it's like, yeah, this person, yeah, he's kind of hard to work with, and this person, I don't like that person, but Maximilian, he's okay, but sometimes he just seems like he's a bit off, like he's just not all there, and it's like, because like he was behind her, and like her back was turned to him, so I'm trying to do this subtle, like my eyes open really wide, like I wasn't paying attention, so I was like looking away, like and then she mentions him, and I'm like, like he's behind you, and then she realized it, turned around, and was like, I mean, I was like, you mean the other Maximilian? Because there's another Maximilian that works in the store. And she was like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Then we both left because our brakes were up. And then she was like, I was totally talking about that Maximilian. And I was like, you should feel like an asshole. And she's like, I do.
If she was being honest, though, and like he really wasn't all there, do you think he probably would have like turned around and been like, hey, what are you guys talking about? You guys like Skippy peanut butter?
Well, that's the thing. I think hopefully he was watching a YouTube video as well, so he may not have been paying attention. But there was a moment where he did like look up and be like, you guys talking about me? We were like, nope, talking about the other one.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, and I feel bad too because it's like I don't want him thinking it's like I wasn't really a part of it, because in total honesty, like after I thought about it, I was like, I don't even know what the hell the reference was. Like I don't even know what the conversation was because I had clocked out of that conversation like 10 minutes before. So it's like I couldn't even tell you. If he walked up and said, are you guys talking about me? I could be like, I have no idea what was being said about you, dude.
What if she was trying to conspire with you to commit murder? She's like, you know that Max? That dumb piece of shit? I think we should both murder him. You want to do that? And you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. She's like, all right, yeah, we're going to do it. And he's like, wait, you guys going to kill me? You're like, what?
That's probably.
What's going on?
That's probably the case. I probably do have to, yeah.
You probably, I mean.
I have to commit murder now.
You've got the red shirt.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
don't worry about the stains.
Yeah, don't worry, gotta worry about the stains.
Like, nope, this is ranch that didn't come out. It's very oily.
Which isn't true, by the way, because if you notice, if you get stuff on a red shirt, like ketchup, if you get ketchup on a red shirt, you know what it does? It becomes darker red.
Yeah.
So like you can still tell. You're like, oh yeah, you got ketchup on your shirt.
It's like
a dark red.
A demon absorbing more souls. It's just getting stronger in the darkness.
Yeah. So it's like the thing. It's like the British wore red because if they got hurt, they couldn't see it. And that's another thing too. It's like the British wore red so that.
I think that dude the other day, I think he was just driving back and forth on the parking lot.
Just for whatever reason.
Just like, look how loud I am.
Well, yeah, guys with cars like that, that's exactly what they try to live their life doing. But yeah, but it's like, so yeah, I wear red so that if I get hurt, the enemy can't see me bleeding. Yeah, but they can still see you screaming. Like, they can also see that your arm is missing. It's like, dude, I think that guy got hurt by that cannonball. Like, nah, he's fine. You can't even see any blood on him. Like, no.
Is he bleeding? I don't know. I think we just had they might be having a water balloon fight over there. Maybe they got super soakers. I want a super soaker. All I got is that thing where you interlock your fingers in the pool and you squish.
Oh,
comes out the other side. I don't got no super soaker or the pool noodle thing with the suction cup that goes plunger.
I had something that was supposed to be like a really cool toy that was one of those like pool toy things, and like you like put it in, you pull it and it sucks water in, and then you can push it. It never worked. I was really upset. Like I'd take it to the pool. I'd take it to my friend's pool, be like, check out this cool thing. And it looked cool. It was like a snake, but like with spikes on it, and it was like mean looking. So it's like, yeah, look at this cool water gun I got, and it didn't work. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah. So instead, y'all just like got the underwater torpedo and try and hit each other in the dick.
Yep.
Like, all right, let's do this inside.
Yep.
Nope.
I think that's the one thing that is like a goal for me to when I actually become an adult and then go out on my own is I want to get a pool.
Really?
Not above ground. I want to get a pool.
An in-ground pool.
An in-ground pool.
You can get an above-ground pool
for way
and put it in the ground.
I mean, you know what?
Which I've seen that done, and
Yeah.
it's silly.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can still tell. It's like it looks kind of silly.
Well, you bump against the walls and you feel them go bling, bling.
Yeah. I bet there's a way to do it though. I bet there's a way to do it.
No, I've seen it. I've been in above ground pools that are in the ground. Which I don't know what happens when, something gets punctured.
Right, well, because that's what I'm thinking.
Ground
I'm thinking
around
like,
you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like not because it's not just digging a hole
mudslide
and then putting it in there. I'm like to do it well. I would think like you would put a lining in there so that way nothing can do that. Yeah, plumbing and indoor heating and stuff.
A lot of stuff.
One of my favorite like redneck inventions or whatever was a home jacuzzi, and it was an above ground pool, and they put a steel drum in the middle of it and then put firewood in it and lit it on fire and it heated up the pool. I was like, that's genius. Except I wonder, and it had a certain way of doing it.
Sounds really cool.
It sounds really cool, but like the thing that it didn't show was like, because obviously the bottom of it would get hot and then that would pierce through the plastic of the pool. So I do wonder like what they put at the bottom of it to keep it there. Like maybe they put a brick under there.
Yeah.
Something that didn't do that. But I was like, that was still genius. I was like, that's awesome.
That's some like hillbilly Olympic torch thing.
It was ingenious because it was big enough too that these like two big grown men were able to like get on a floaty with beer koozies on the side and was like chilling in it. And I was like, that's fucking ingenious.
Hey, Olympic Committee, there are parts of the Americas that are pretty much third world countries, right? Appalachians, right? You got people. They are completely illiterate. If you were to build stadiums or just host the next Olympics somewhere, Kentucky, West Virginia, you name it.
Put them on Idaho.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
Yep.
A pool with a thing. That's I'm always like, it's very impressive to see stupid stuff that works really well like that.
Stupid ingenuity.
Like I saw a frozen margarita machine that someone was making with a giant cooler and a garbage disposal. And it looked like they worked really well.
Yeah.
They were just, dumping jugs of tequila and margarita mix and ice in there.
Blending it up.
And they're like, this is we need to add more ice. Oh, we need more water.
That's awesome. Yeah. My mom's actually done a couple of them when we would go camping. Every time we would go camping, my mom would think of something that would make the camping better and then would go out and do it. And one of the things she found was take a bucket, fill it with ice, and then cut holes through it and put pipe through the holes. And then you put a fan on the top of it and you make it so that the fan fits right over it. And then when you turn the fan on, it like blows the air through the ice and then through the tubes, and you basically have an AC for your tent. It's fucking ingenious. It was awesome. I think we used it once and it worked pretty well, but then like it was just one of those things we kept forgetting it because it was nice weather outside, but just one of those things. Yeah, I saw it on like a do-it-yourself redneck edition. It was like, hey, you want to be cool when you're outside? Take a bucket, fill with ice, put a fan on it. You got yourself an AC unit. I was like, that's cool shit.
The only difference between like redneck fixes and Pinterest is probably how much stuff did you get at Hobby Lobby and did you paint it? Like that's it. Like, oh, did you spend an extra, $100 making it look pretty?
Well, it's like redneck fixes. Pinterest goes to Hobby Lobby. Redneck fixes goes to Home Depot. Like that's that's the difference. It's the same shit. It's just different store.
Same shit, different store, yo. Oh.
Same shit, different store, yo. Yo 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 yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
we were it would have been nice to synchronize that. That close, but whatever. Oh man,
it's cold outside tonight.
Yeah. You feeling strong?
getting there.
Your trap's okay? From listening
I
to
am actually feeling.
from
I'm
hoisting
feeling
that dresser.
pretty damn good. Yeah, it was a heavy dresser. Yeah. No, I hate moving furniture. That's like weird. That's like the one thing that like I have no patience for. The minute somebody's like, "Can you help me move this thing?" and then you go, "Where do I grab it?" and they go, "Just grab it wherever." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna move it. Then get someone else to do it." Like I'm not gonna hold the sides like Mr. Olympia and just push my hands strong enough. I'm not the mountain crushing skulls. Like give me handles, give me something to grab onto, or I'm not fucking doing it. The other thing I really don't like doing it is moving furniture with someone that is far more inadequate for moving furniture, because then you have to stop every 5 feet. It's like we're moving the couch from one room to the other.
Hold on.
It's like, okay, hold on, put it down. Like,
put it down.
it's like, all right. Oh God, my fingers. Oh, my arm's just so heavy, and I'm like, it's not that heavy. Come on.
Yeah, I was really glad my couches when I was getting them here and when I was getting them out.
Yeah.
They weren't like, okay, you gotta tilt it, and we gotta pivot. We gotta pivot and move. We gotta
pivot. Pivot.
Oh, okay, the legs are getting stuck. Nope.
Yeah.
Do the legs come off? Legs come off?
Yeah.
It was just.
And then you stop halfway. Like, all right, let's rethink this.
Yeah. The couch is like stuck.
Let's rethink this. Yeah.
in the threshold.
Stuck halfway through, and you're like, all right, no, let's figure it out. Were you able to get out through the door? Or did you have to get it out through?
Yeah. No, I just
went through. That's good.
Me and some other dude that was like my physique, which is not impressive.
Throw names out there.
Some dude, I don't know his name.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I sold some dude
Throwing
on Craigslist.
Dudes out there.
I just paid some like high school kids from Craigslist like $20. Like, hey, come move this couch for me, and they're like, okay. That's how they talk. That's how they talk around here. Hey, you guys. Okay.
All right, guy. I go to Anne Arundel High School.
You wanna move couches?
Yeah. What's up, magazine? Let's go move some couches.
This is like a really bad Peter Griffin. That's what this sounds like. Okay. Nah, but like they were just like, okay, pick up the. Yeah. I did it again. Just pick up the couch, tilt it, and then
couch moving
we're done.
Yeah.
We're done skis.
See, I've never hired people. I've either had the people to do it, or I got people to do it for free.
Yeah.
pay them some other way.
I needed to get it from the town over, Crofton, over here. So I didn't have a truck to pick it up. So I was like, okay, we'll try Craigslist.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I actually probably need to do that because we have I have a washing machine and a dryer that has been sitting out in our backyard since we moved into the place that we are at, because it came with one, but then we brought our own. So the guy was like, well, your stuff's newer than my stuff, so I'll buy yours, and you just have to keep it in the house like when you leave. And we were like, deal. But then like he was like, okay, so now you guys can do whatever the hell you want to do with the old ones. And we were like, all right. So we put it in the backyard and was like, we'll get someone to take it. And they've been there the entire year.
Oh, yeah. You could just probably try a post like, hey, I got scrap.
Yeah.
Maybe someone will come. I think that area might have some people.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we were looking to give it to Goodwill, and we were like, oh, because Goodwill, like some Goodwills will go and get stuff and come back.
Oh, yeah. Why? No, sell it. Sell it to someone. Get some money.
Yeah. Well, it's too late now. Like, the thing's probably, the probability of them working after sitting out there for so long.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
So now they're just scrap. If we done it earlier and probably kept them under something, but, and it's horrifying, too. Like, you open them up and it's filled with spider webs and shit. There was one time because they're underneath a deck, but they're not underneath the deck. They're out, they're still out in the open, above it. They're still there.
So they're not underneath.
So they're not under the deck, but there's a deck above it anyway. When the rain season came last year, didn't even think anything of it. It was just like, whatever, they're fine. Well, the tube where the water comes out of the washing machine or goes into the washing machine, it was propped up into the machine. Not like it wasn't face down. So the rain season comes and whatever. I go outside to take a look at the washing machine and see how it's doing and whatever. And I look in the dryer, it's empty and whatever. There's cords in it or whatever. Close it, and I pick up the washing machine. I open it up, and it's filled with water, dirt water, because the only tube that the water leaks out of was propped up, so it wasn't funneling out. So I took it and immediately turned it over, and it just boom, like a dam breaking, and like it took it like an hour to empty out. It was just filled with water. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. Good thing like mosquitoes aren't that big of a problem here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God, I hate.
If that was, you'd be super fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I was thinking about it too. I was like, I probably should have kept the water in there because that was what was keeping the spiders out. Because now the thing's filled with spiders. So when it starts raining again, I'm gonna prop that tube back up. Then what?
You could have sent it to Africa. Like, hey, I got you guys this water. It's not that clean, but
Craigslist.
But I know it's
a
not,
washing machine filled with water.
I know it's better than what you have, so
yeah.
I don't want to waste it.
Just boil it. You'll be fine.
Yeah. You guys got life straws, right?
Do you ever watch that? You ever watch that documentary, How Beer Saved the World?
No, but I think I'm aware of.
Yeah, so most of it is like bullshit. Like most of it's like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything after a certain time period, it's all just like whatever. And they're like, well, actually, if you look at the nutritional value of beer, it's like shut the hell up. Beer is not nutritious. Yeah, like you can't survive off of beer over a healthy meal. There's no way you can justify it. That's basically what the show tried to do. Yeah. It's like, if you cut out all of this type of grain, you could probably just drink beer and eat meat and vegetables and you'll be fine. It's like, no, you won't. Stop telling people this. It's not a thing. Like you're okaying alcoholism basically and be like, it's nutritional for you.
How is that longer than like a 5-minute thing of them being like, oh, they boiled water.
Right.
Like they had to boil it to make the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get how that goes beyond that.
Right.
It's like, oh well, beer was part of the trade, and there was this beer and that beer.
Because it's one of those things. Because they got to make up the time for it. So it started out with the history of it, where they were like, oh, when people first left a thing of milk and honey out, and then it fermented, and the guys were like, oh, now it's gone bad, but then. Because it had the honey in there, it tasted good. So they were like, oh, this is actually pretty damn good. And then it talked about the science behind it. So it's like, when something ferments, you have alcohol buildup and blah, 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 blah. And so, like, and then they get to the point where they're like, and the reason people lived was because they boiled the water. That's all they had to do.
Like,
so,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was interesting, but yeah, a lot of it was like bullshit.
Huh.
Speaking of bullshit documentaries, I can't remember if we talked about this one, but I'll always talk about it. Did you see the mermaid documentary?
Documentary?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I saw something about that being on Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't say like, oh, by the way, this isn't real.
So they did, but because I actually watched it. I was actually in a hotel room at the time that it came out, and I was like flipping through TV.
That's kind of justification, but okay.
No, shut up. Anyway,
the hotel makes it okay. Okay, I was on a hotel. They didn't have HBO.
Yeah, they didn't have HBO. It was a lame hotel. So it was a motel. I was in a motel. But anyway, I'm in a motel.
Holiday Inn?
Yeah, it's probably a Holiday Inn. Anyway, I'm flipping through the channels and Discovery's on, and I'm watching this thing, and at first I thought it was like a real documentary, like it was presenting it as one. But then when they were actually talking about like the actual theory of sea monkeys, basically like aquatic monkeys or primates that some went to land and then became Homo sapiens, but then some stayed in water and then became mermaids, basically.
Obviously.
But at the very, very end of it, in the credits, like as the credits are rolling, and it's like executive producer, editor, blah blah blah, makeup, blah blah blah. At the very end of it, they have a one line that says, "This is fictionalized, not true." And so it's one of those things that the entire time during the show, they're acting like it's completely real. And at the very end, they have one line at the end that goes, "This isn't real." And they were freaking tricking people. People, like, all that month were like, mermaids are real. Did you know that? Did you see that? There's, like, fossils and everything. Like, there's video. They found them. And it's like, oh, man, Discovery, you guys pulled a good prank. And then on Shark Week, they did the same thing with Megalodon.
Oh, that was probably the one okay.
The Megalodon one was actually cool.
Discovery, I think they kind of got on the slippery slope over like, okay, we can have TV shows that are educational. They're like, we can have TV shows that are educational, but let's also try and make some sort of story arc, put some sort of tension between everyone, like American Chopper. And then they're like, okay, let's do a story arc with a lot of tension and drama, and we can make it a little educational. So they're probably like, the Earth is covered in 70% water, but mermaids are in most of it.
Yeah. And I mean, it was interesting in the sense of like, if mermaids were real as like an animal, like they were like, oh, they'd hunt in packs, and they would probably have tools, so they'd have like underwater spears, and they would hunt, dolphins or great whites or seals for food and stuff. And I was like, the thing is like, you're taking it realistically, which I can, it's like in a video game. It's like, clearly this isn't real, but you've made up a language for the people and a history for it, so I can at least give you props for going all out on it. But the fact that you're tricking people. Now, the Megalodon one, I did feel crushed on because I read a book in middle school that was about a Megalodon like being real.
Megalodon
or being alive, because it's a real thing, but it's still alive. I can't remember what... I think it was either called Mega or it was just called Megalodon. But
or Donnie.
It could have been Donnie. But basically, what the story of the book was people are going down the Marianas Trench, which is the really deep part of the ocean.
I know what you're talking about.
And you should. I'm absolutely fascinated with the Marianas Trench. Like, it's so fucking cool. Like, NASA, fuck off with space. We've seen enough of it. There's nothing up there. Go down to Marianas Trench, because that shit's closer
with World
and
War
far
I?
more interesting.
It's the World War I thing.
Yes, the Marianas Trench warfare, where they would the submarines would like be in the trenches and then come out and try to fight each other in the no man's ocean.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
But anyway, so like this group of scientists are going down there, and they go in these submarines, and it's really pressurized down there, so the submarines are made to withhold all of that craziness, and they go down to a really far depth, like not even the end of it, because you can't. That's how crazy the pressure is. And as they're there, they find a megalodon, and it like attacks the submarine. Like there's like a scene in the book where the megalodon bites onto the submarine, and just biting it, he dents a little bit of it, and the pressure changes so much that the guy inside just explodes. Like he goes, uh-oh, boom, it just explodes. But then what happens is...
he would implode because it's excess pressure from outside.
Fine, you got me.
He would be crushed by
I also read this book like 15 years ago, so shut up. Anyway.
Doesn't make any sense for him to explode.
But anyway, there's one megalodon. He ends up getting killed by the second megalodon, which I think is like the first one was a male, second one is the female. The female like bites underneath him, because that's how they think they would have hunted, was they would have attacked animals from below. So it like goes up and like bites him, and then like pretty much puts him like on a suit, and then goes up towards the surface.
I was about to say, this sounds kind of like a Planet Earth type plot, but then you said he puts him on like a suit, and I don't think I've seen any episode like that.
Yeah, no. Because what the thinking and what the science was behind it was that
science.
The science.
Gotcha.
This is how they explained it. This is how they explained, because basically a megalodon put another megalodon as a suit and then rode him up to the surface.
Yep.
And the reason is because the Marianas Trench is so cold down there, or something like that. It was something like that, like
the sunlight
cold,
doesn't penetrate
and that
deep.
if exactly, so if the megalodon went up too fast, like not only the pressure change, but also the heat change in its body would have like killed it basically.
And the megalodon,
and so the megalodon heat, it's like basically used the science of
warm-blooded shark,
shark warm-blooded shark
that creates its own body heat. Yep.
Well, yeah, they basically used.
Are they warm-blooded? I don't think they're warm-blooded, are they?
I don't think so. Maybe the megalodon is though. We don't know. The megalodon's
Science.
a fucking old one.
Tell us these things.
But yeah, and then it was fascinating, because then basically it was like the end of Jurassic Park 2 when the T-Rex is going through the city. It's like, oh, it's a megalodon in modern day biting yachts in half, and then they had to like kill it.
Ex Machina would have been so much better if at the end she was just kind of like walking around all the people, and then like she took off her robot mask and revealed she was a hammerhead shark. Street sharks.
Yeah.
They're real, but they're also robot kind of.
Oh, but yeah. So then anyway, that was me just kind of going back in that memory of nostalgia for that book. But the Megalodon documentary was basically the same thing. It was like, oh, what if a Megalodon was down in the trench and it came up, and now it's like they had like a fishing boat that was like bitten in half, but then it was like, oh, but it was bitten from underneath, which is like how they would have hunted. And it was interesting because, again, it's like they're talking about the Megalodon shark, which is the most fascinating animal to me. Mm-hmm. But like, again, at the very end of it, again, small print, they were like, this is all fictionalized. No, this is true. And it was like, oh, damn it. That was the one that I actually wanted to be true. That'd be cool as shit.
You know what's my favorite shark? The Megadog shark.
But there's actually like a dogfish.
Oh, I said dong.
Oh, dong.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
Kind of like a hammerhead, but
okay,
a little different.
A little different, but not too different.
Not too different.
They're still kind of closely related.
A little different.
I found this game on Steam. I can't remember the name of it.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
No.
Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
No. I might have talked about it. I can't remember. But
Monopoly.
So
stop guessing. I'm sorry.
So there's like two teams.
Civilization.
Close. There's two teams. One is divers, and they swim in the water.
Oh, okay. So like, there's like old people, young people, Mexicans, white people, black people,
I'm gonna
Chinese.
Fucking tip you over.
It's all kinds of people. You said they're divers.
Oh, diverse. God damn it. You fucking piece of shit.
Gotcha. So
there's scuba divers.
There's a melting pot.
Scuba divers. And the other team
all right.
is
That's
sharks.
what they like to do.
The other team is sharks. And so the scuba divers have to go get treasure and shit from like, old ancient places under the ocean, and the sharks have to try to stop them.
Right.
And it was a really fascinating game. I was reading the comment section, and the very first review of it was, hey, here's some facts about sharks. They don't kill nearly as many people as you think. And it was like basically like a guy standing up for the sharks. Like, I know this whole game is about killing sharks, but come on, guys, they're not that bad.
Come on, guys. Is there a football team in the NFL called the Sharks?
No. Surprisingly, the Sharks is like, you would imagine that's a pretty common name.
Is that just so they never have to play the Jets?
Is that a shark? Oh, god damn it. See, I didn't.
I lied to a guy today, or I guess I lied to them a couple weeks ago. But so on the trailer that I got for my car,
yeah.
When I was going through the website to go ahead and order everything, I put it in my car and be like, you can't do that. So I just said I got a different car. And they're like, yep, no problem. But it turns out the reason why my car wasn't eligible to use with the trailer is because it's too low. And so once you have it on the trailer and everything's set up, go ahead, try and open that door. Try and step out of your car now. So I did a little Jackie Chan NASCAR action. That's how it's gonna have to go from now on.
Did you get out of your car through the window?
Yeah.
Do you have a way of getting your car window up?
No, but like, I mean, I got the cover on it. I guess it'll be fine.
Yeah, should be fine.
I'm just kind of like screwed if like someone hits the trailer and my car gets damaged because they're like, you didn't say that's what you were taking and we told you not to.
True.
But pro tip, if anyone out there think about towing a car or something, don't listen to them. They don't know what you're talking about. Just rent the thing and figure it out.
No, you should say the exact opposite. You should tell them exactly and be honest and truthful.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck that. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Anyway, that's my interesting story because this is the only interesting thing that's happened to me for a while.
So fascinating.
I put a car and I drove it up a ramp and then I tied it down. I tied it down with the instructions.
So I was watching some porn a couple nights ago.
Whoa, not done with my cool trailer story.
Yes,
and then
nope, you are done.
I put boxes inside of the moving truck and I stacked some of them. You may continue with your porn story, Steven.
So I was watching porn.
You have my blessing.
Thank you. And it was like these two white chicks getting fucked by a bunch of black guys, and one of them was wait. So let me paint you the picture. There was two white chicks.
So it was diverse?
There was not very diverse. It was not very diverse. There was only two groups of people there.
Scuba divers?
It was very scuba diverse. God damn it. Fuck. So there was two. You're so happy with yourself. You can go fuck off. You fucking piece of shit. I'm going to use that a couple times now. Like, I'm going to be like, that's diverse. Because it's in the water. Anyway.
It's the whole king of the Jews, king of the juice. You know?
No, I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Like, Jesus Christ, the Nazarene. Was he king of like the Welch's grape juice, or was he like king of the Semitic Jews? Juice.
You need more OJ in your life.
Orange juice.
Yeah, more Jesus juice. Anyway, that's why they call it Jesus Jews. Yeah,
they're
because it's Jesus Jews.
Messianic Jews.
Anyway, I was watching this porn.
As you are wont to do. Continue.
And there was two white chicks getting fucked by a bunch of black dudes. And one of the chicks was like...
Was it a bunch of black dudes? Or was it like...
It was like three.
Was it like two dudes and they kept changing the thing and you think all black people look the same? So
no.
There's only two, but you're like, oh, it could be more than two.
Let me finish the fucking story because you're getting ahead of me. So there's two white chicks, a few black guys, and one of the white chicks is like...
Wait, oh.
Yeah, what? What?
With Terry Crews?
No!
In the Wayans Brothers?
That would be so amazing. That would be the best. Oh my God. I would watch that. I would watch that wholeheartedly. It'd be... Like, only if Terry Crews is like Terry Crews in the Old Spice commercials. Power! Anyway, two white chicks, couple of black guys that aren't the Wayans Brothers or Terry Crews. One of the girls is like, oh my God, your dick is bigger than my boyfriend's. And the other chick is like, well, no, duh, your boyfriend's white. And I was like, hold the fucking phone. I don't need this systemic racist shit in my porn, okay? Like, number one, why are you calling out your boyfriend's dick in front of the other guys? Like, that's just disrespectful to him. You don't do that shit. We don't go to other girls and be like, man, your vagina's way wider than my girlfriend's vagina. I don't know what... I don't know how guys would do that. But anyway, it's like, I don't need that systemic racist shit of just being like, oh, just because this guy's white, he doesn't have a big enough dick than these black guys, and these black guys have bigger dicks just because they're black. That's fucking racist, and I didn't need it, and I stopped masturbating to it. Because I have a fucking code to what I will and will not jerk off to.
What is your code?
That's one of them. I don't jerk off to racism or bear porn. Not like the big like grizzly like a man with like a lot of hair and that's very big, like grizzly bear porn. Will not do that.
Isn't the first one like a gay thing?
Racism?
No, the bear thing,
yeah,
right?
Well, the racism is the first one. That's the first thing. The bear. No, I'm saying I'll watch the bear porn of just a big guy that's very hairy. Which
is gay porn.
Yeah, but I won't watch grizzly bear porn. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, I didn't realize there were such cruel creatures until I saw The Revenant. I was like,
yeah. See, I wasn't jerking off to The Revenant. Leo. I was not jerking off The Revenant. That bear was raping the shit Leo. Out of him. Yeah.
Come on.
It's like he survived the Titanic, but not that bear dick.
He is the new Al Gore fighting global warming. Trying to save your home.
Yep.
And you're trying to eat him?
Trying to eat the shit out of his pussy.
You try and eat your nature, Jesus?
Seriously.
Come on. Ridiculous. Come on, bear.
He was all over him, too. He was all over him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he end up killing the bear, or did the bear just walk away? Can't remember.
Well, the guys came to save him, and I think one of them killed the bear. No.
See, I thought
he killed the bear. The bear fell on him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
And then they skin the bear. So like throughout the rest of the movie, he has the bear.
Yeah, yeah. And then they leave him. Yeah, Tom Hardy was really good in that movie too.
Dude, I didn't even like the makeup in that movie was so good. I didn't even realize it was him.
It was
for a long time. It was like
he did not look like him. Yeah, even like when they show like the full face when he took his hat off or whatever, you still couldn't tell. But he's really good when it comes to like being under makeup and stuff. Like,
yeah, his accent kind of sounded a little like between a hick and like Bane.
It was kind of
hey, how are you?
Yeah. Well, because it was deep too. It was really deep. Like
you merely adopted the dark.
You
I was born in it.
You merely adopted the furring business. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see a fur trap till I was 10 years old.
Now I will break your spine and give you this bear tooth necklace.
I remember.
Mine's kind of like a Savannah guy. Mine's like a guy from Georgia.
It's kind of a Savannah, Georgia guy.
I guess he was in that movie.
I remember when that movie came out, I was so into it. I was really digging it.
I just saw it like 2 weeks ago. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what'd you think of it?
I liked it. I really liked it.
See, I really liked it. A lot of people like so I there are certain criticisms that I understand about the movie. Now I totally see them. I still don't think it's a bad movie. Like for one, one of my issues with Bane is he fell under the same thing that a lot of great villains in movies do, is he got taken out like a bitch. Mm-hmm. And that's what I hate, is like they spend the entire movie making Bane to be the guy who defeats Batman. The guy's back. But the guy who defeats Batman, the guy that breaks Batman's back, the guy that destroys, Wayne Enterprises, takes over Gotham. It's like he's done more than any other villain in the past movies has done. And then at the end, he gets shot by Catwoman. Yeah. And it's like, come on, man. Like, even with how he's been set up in that movie, he should have been able to take those shots. Like, he should have taken those shots and gone up and be like, oh, that kind of hurt. Like, that's how he should have been. Like, he should have only been defeated through physical combat with Batman. And he was, but he wasn't defeated to the point, like, he wasn't killed and defeated that way. Like, he was still up. Like, even after Batman beat the shit out of him, and then what's her name put his mask back together, he just stood back up like, oh, I'm good. So it's like, even when Batman beat the shit out of him, he was still perfectly fine. It was just his mask that he needed fixed.
It is weird when they make like those mega villains. I don't want to say super villains because that has its own definition. Right, it's its own thing, they're like these kind of like really
like just badass,
impressive, badass villains that by all rights, like it seems like with the talents or whatever attributes they have, they have like more of a right to survive than the hero. Yeah. Like by a lot. Yeah. But I guess that's the whole underdog hero's tale classic thing that people like. That makes you feel good inside thing. And you're like, yeah, I can face my own perils. Life isn't that hard.
The one guy who keeps getting that done too is Dave Bautista. He plays
Rocket Raccoon.
Drax.
Yeah, he's Rocky Raccoon.
No, he plays Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's all of them. He's all of them.
He's been a villain in a bunch of different movies because he's the typical big guy, like fast for his size but strong and can take you out and shit like that. He was in that the Riddick movie, the one they did a couple years ago. And he was like the bad guy. Like he was part of the bad guys, but he was strong and he was like, yeah, I can take on Vin Diesel in a fight. Like I can kick his ass. And then he like gets taken out like easily. Like Vin Diesel just like sneaks up on him and kills him. And it's like, no, he does not deserve. He deserves to be overpowered. Like that's how you should defeat him, or just give him an epic death. He just got snuck up on, and Vin Diesel was like, "Gotcha, tag." And it's like,
gotcha, bitch.
He was also in that movie Man with the Iron Fist, and he was really cool. He had the ability to, like, his body turned into bronze, like his skin turned bronze. So, like, somebody tries to throw a ninja dart at him, and he turns his body into bronze right before it hits him. So it's slow motion. You see it, like, coming up on him, and it just boom, boom, bounces off. And then at the end, he just kind of gets his head crashed in by a guy with an iron fist, and it's like, I don't know. That one was a bit okay, but It wasn't great because
fucking bullshit. He's like, he has iron skin and he's fucking bad. Oh, you know what?
No. So
okay.
Well, from what I can remember, so the scene on how he died was cool because the guy just was like beating on his face, and then eventually he started like double punching from both sides, and he just crushed his head like a can. So it was like that was cool, but the fight itself was really lame because. Again, Dave Bautista in this movie, in the entire time he's kicking people's asses. I think he puts people through entire buildings and shit. He's just kicking ass, taking names. And then the fight scene with the guy with the iron fist lasts all of like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, and not even 5 minutes. And that's what sucked was the guy like punched him 3 times in the gut, and he was like, oh shit, iron actually is stronger than bronze. And then he crushed his skull in, and that was it. It's like, come on. Could have been longer than that.
Yeah. Segue. The Walking Dead's been pretty decent throughout its time about giving like characters a good send off.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Like where it is right now? Are you like
okay? So
pitter pattering and
I'm not completely caught up.
Oh shit!
Yes, I know. I
just
think the last
season 8.
The last
premiered.
season. This is going to be a bit of a spoiler. A little bit of a spoiler alert. The last season that I saw was when the dude. The guy that was in charge of the town, the mayor.
Yeah.
He attacked the prison. The governor. So when the governor attacked the prison that they were in, that was the last season that I saw, and then I stopped because I was watching it with my sister, and then she went overseas, and I was like, oh, I won't watch until she comes back, and then she came back, and we just haven't picked it up because we have like 10 different shows to watch.
You know, if you made it to that point where he's already attacking the prison, because like you have to go through that whole like. It goes kind of slow for like, what's his deal?
Yeah,
he's
it was a very kind of slow
mysterious character. What are his motivations and where's he coming from?
But by that time in the show, there still were a lot of characters that got a lot of send offs, and yeah, for the most part, I think The Walking Dead has done pretty well. Like of the characters that I like, I think they were pretty good. Like I liked who was Daryl's brother? Earl. Merle, that's right, Merle. I liked Merle. I thought he was cool. Like I know he was a dick, and I know he was kind of a bad guy during a lot of it. Which I think the only reason they changed his character, and I know it's a comic book, so in the comic book it could have been different, but they've already changed a lot from the comic book to the TV show. But I think the reason they changed Michael Rourke's character in the movie or in the TV show is because people started liking him because he was in like Guardians of the Galaxy and a bunch of other movies. So like, we got to get him back on the show, but we got to make him kind of a good guy. Like we got to make him be likable because people like him. But I thought his send off was well. I was upset by it because I was like, fuck, he's really cool.
Yeah.
Like from season 1, I thought he was really cool. Like even though like he did like take a van filled with zombies and put them out onto like the group. Or whatever, like that's the thing people forget. It's like he took a van full of zombies, sent them on the group, but then and then of his brother, by the way, like his brother was also there, and he just was like, "Fuck it, Dale can take care of himself." But I was like, "That's really impressive. He was able to do that with one hand." Like that's really. It's like these people have 2 hands and they can't take out a zombie, and Merle's over here, fucking getting vans full of them like it's goddamn Dead Rising or something. But yeah, his was pretty cool. The one chick, I can't remember her name, the blonde hair chick. Yeah, it's been a while since she's been on the show.
Maggie's sister.
Yeah, Maggie's sister. I didn't give a shit. No, not the younger one. No? That's the younger blonde hair. I'm talking about the older one. She ended up sleeping with the governor. She ended up sleeping with the governor.
That one. Okay.
I didn't really care about her, so her send off I didn't give a shit about. Like her entire time on the show, I just didn't care for her character. So when she went off, I was like, bye. Bye. I don't have to deal with you anymore. Bing, bing. But, yeah. But yeah, that show's done pretty well. I think that's one of the things about shows like that is like I'm fine with killing off characters as long as it's done right. That's the thing that bothers me is when they just knock them off for no reason. And again, in like a bitch way, it's just really bothersome.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to seeing if they can make season 8 not terrible.
Was the last season not so good?
Well, people are just complaining about the things I think they kind of like always been complaining about with the show, which is like, oh, it feels like they're dragging it on, and they've been at this, and this has been their problem, and ooh, I don't know. Maybe people are just tired of the whole conceit of everything.
Yeah.
whole premise.
But I mean,
of it.
you know, that show's always. But again, that, like you said, it's like the show's always been that way because the way the first season ended, it was like, well, like first off, it like came out during Halloween. Like the first season came out, I either think on Halloween or like the first day of October. It was one of those where like it was supposed to be meaningful to the month of October. So it came out in October, and then it ended after like 4 or 5 episodes. And then it went on like a 3-month break and came back, and they were like, finish season 1. It's like, oh, so this isn't season 2. You're finishing season 1. And they do that the entire time, where they do parts of season 1 and then, or part of a season, then they end it and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, they're dragging it on. They're dragging it on because they didn't think it was going to do that well. Yeah. Walking Dead, I know, was supposed to be picked up for like 2 seasons. And then the first season did so well that they immediately picked them up for like 4 more. They were like, oh, yeah, no, we'll keep giving you the show. Just keep bringing us some great shit.
Yeah, allegedly, that show and like Breaking Bad take place in the same universe.
Oh yeah.
Like people are like, it's a prequel. I'm like, it's not a prequel because the stories don't actually line up, and it doesn't.
Right.
You know, this isn't like Walter White's meth that is causing the
yeah, because that's my thing. Is
zombies.
It's like just because like there's a little link between the people, and that's because it's on the same show or it's on the same channel. But also, people that work for one show work for the other.
Yeah.
So they just kind of throw in little Easter eggs.
Yeah, there's little things like, oh, this is the brand of cigarettes that they smoke, and these are the snacks that are available.
Yeah, or like when Daryl brings up like a thing of drugs that him and his brother had. It's like at the bottom of it, there's the blue.
In episode 205 in Breaking Bad, Tuco breaks open a Schubenberg's beer, and you can also see that beer in the department store in Breaking Bad. Or Walking Dead.
Got him.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad's a good show. It's a great fucking show. Better Call Saul is also pretty good. From what I've heard. I
don't like that show because I like the characters in Breaking Bad for what they were.
Got you. Like that was enough.
Like that was. Here's where the story begins. Yeah. Boom. Right here. And then for them to be like, let me explain this whole, mythology to you. Like, no, I kind of liked it from just here on out.
It was definitely like they like Saul was an important character, and a lot of people liked Saul in Breaking Bad. But it was like, oh yeah, let's take Saul and just give him a whole show just so you can see some of the other characters. And it's like, I mean, like again, from what I hear, it's a good show. A lot of people like it, so it's doing well. But it's like, you just kind of found a way to just keep it going.
Have you watched it?
I've seen a couple of episodes. I've seen bits and bobs of it.
I don't like how it is. Talk about it. Like how like they bring up like every character from Breaking Bad,
right? And
like they try and give them like the same kind of like, these were all good people at one time, but then they got desperate.
Yeah, they got corrupted or something.
Like every single character, like mostly, like a lot of characters.
Have they showed main characters like did Walter pop up in anywhere in the show?
I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure there was like a I didn't watch a lot of it, but like Tuco. This was probably one of my favorite characters from Breaking Bad.
The hitman guy.
What? The one that like he's like the first.
Oh yeah, the Mexican dealer.
Like,
yeah.
They meet in the junkyard and he snorts the meth. He goes tight. Like, what'd you do to my deal, Walter?
Yeah.
but like they try to make him be like, he was a good guy. He just he got mixed in with the wrong crowd, and his uncle was kind of bad. So at least that's what I could tell they were trying to do. But I don't know. A good example, or maybe an interesting example that was kind of brought up to me about like where to start a story is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So the idea with Game of Thrones is like with the typical fantasy epic, the legend of the story. With the Game of Thrones, the whole I guess like plot twists and things that like catch you by surprise.
Yeah.
The whole reason that exists is because Game of Thrones starts like one generation earlier than a typical fantasy story would.
Yeah.
Like if they just started with, okay, boom, here's Jon Snow.
Right.
His dad was this person. His mom was that person. But because they start with, okay, yeah, here's Ned Stark. Like they start it way too early.
Yeah.
And so like you get to see this development and all these little hiccups. And you're like, Oh, here's where the actual standard hero's journey starts.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Jon Snow's adventures don't start until he actually like both gets to the wall and then starts exploring past the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's like up to that point, it is just kind of like, it's like, yeah, this is like the typical start of like, I've been on the wall for a couple of years now, but this is the first time I'm going to go out. It's like, that's where it would start. And it's like this. Yeah. It's like, no, you see him before he gets there. Well, and I'm excited for the, if like, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed. It is, right? The next show they're going to do after Game of Thrones ends is like the prequel, basically. It's the 1, 2, and 3 of the Game of Thrones that they're going to go back and show basically how Robert's rebellions came to pass.
So I don't know if it's going to be exactly that, because they have the books you can read about
2 different shows,
about Sir Duncan the Tall and someone else.
I have no idea who Sir Duncan the Tall is.
He's one of the interesting people in Game of Thrones, but
he's not a character, is he?
Yeah. So when you read about the whole,
what? Well, I just mean like in the show. Like,
no. This is like before.
Oh, okay.
The timeline for
he's
Game
a
of Thrones.
legendary person.
But I think there's a couple. You can read. What is it? Gosh, there's some Game of Thrones book that I've been trying to read. A Song of Fire and Ice. What is it? The World of Fire and Ice.
Oh, okay.
Where you get a lot of backstory and like all the lineage and stuff. Mm-hmm. But they never have the library here. It's always checked out.
Fucking bitch.
And there's also a book that George R. R. Martin and someone else co-authored called Rogues.
Oh, okay.
And then there's also the story of...
one of those? Is there only one of those books?
I'm sure there's a lot of stuff.
There's only one rogue?
Rogues.
Rogues 1?
All right.
I can have my own little doodad. Thank you very much.
Look at all these diverse jokes we got.
Diverse jokes we got going here. But yeah, if the show does do that, I'm excited for it because, I've been going back and watching like clips of Game of Thrones and like certain episodes and stuff, and like, yeah, it's like Robert seemed kind of cool. I mean, he beat the shit out of Cersei, but then again, it was Cersei, so it was like, yeah, I kind of got that. But like Robert was kind of cool, and then he got taken out in the first season. You're like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then like once you get to the end and you learn what the big spoiler is, you're like, oh, he's kind of a dick. It's kind of a big dickhole. Like, I kind of don't really care much for Robert now. So I'd be interested to see and like go back and like do a prequel and show young Robert, and then kind of show him like, yeah, he was kind of a dick back then too. Like, this is how it actually happened. Because there's just a lot of misconceptions, but I don't know. Because it's just one of those things where, to me, it's setting up just like how the Star Wars set up. Like, the thing that people, don't look at is that the other movies set up parts of Star Wars. Like, Ben talks about, Anakin being a star pilot, and talks about the Clone Wars, and mentions that stuff. And so you're like, oh, I wonder what's that about. And then the next movies were, yeah, this is what they were talking about. I kind of feel like that's what Game of Thrones is doing, is they're mentioning like, wasn't your father blank 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 who served blank in this blank war? And he's like, yeah, that was my father. And then when the prequel comes out,
you got it, dude.
Yeah. And then when the prequel comes out, it'll be like, this is my dad, that's my father. And then the show's going to be about him. And it's like, there you go. They just set it up for you. But it's like, oh, I could use more Mormont. I would love to watch more Mormont. Freaking love that family. I don't know. There's some of the way Jorah Mormont. I just love the way his name is said. Jorah Mormont.
Dude, what about that Dora the Explorer movie though?
Dude, no, not Dora the Explorer. What are you, an idiot? It's My Little Pony.
No.
My Little Pony the movie's coming out.
Also?
Yes. No, that's real. Is it really a Dora the Explorer movie?
Directed by
Michael Bay?
Michael Bay.
No. If this is a lie, I'm gonna murder you.
You got a phone? You can look it up.
I have terrible service here. I can't look it up.
Okay, Google. Tell me about Dora the Explorer movie coming out.
Here are some matching news articles.
Give it to me. Let me see.
It's not directed by him. It's just a production company. Never mind.
Oh, well, I mean, still, though.
Still, it's supposed to be like a live-action movie.
Live action pick in the works at Paramount. Oh my god. If it's anything to do with Michael Bay, that'll be amazing though.
The best comment I saw about it was Christopher Walken as Swiper the Fox. Swiper, no swiping. Oh man, that's kind of my job. I have to do it.
Listen here, little girl. I need your map to find out where to go. Give it here. Swiper, and then oh god, who would play Dora?
I don't know, like Selena Gomez or some bullshit.
Swiper, no swiping. Oh damn, you got me. I can't get the map. This is gonna ruin my whole day.
Man. They gotta find someone that does it good. Oh man.
Oh man. You mean Urkel?
Did I do that?
Oh man, did I do that?
Man,
that would be amazing.
I got a great Urkel. Ooh, I'm so good at that.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, no.
Some fucking trap music.
But yeah, no. Also,
map song.
What's it?
There's a My Little Pony movie coming out.
My Little Pony movie.
Animation, like Pixar type thing, 3D, 2D.
It's gonna be animated. It's gonna be like a Pokemon the movie. It's like a TV show, and they do that.
Ugh.
Bronies creep you out? It's because they're like furries. Do you compare them to furries?
It's because they're not entirely honest.
Yeah.
They're like, I watched My Little Pony, and you know what? It's actually a pretty good story.
It's actually pretty good.
Like the plot's pretty good. It's really good, actually. I'm like, I don't think it can be. It's a cartoon show for children.
I was that way at first.
What?
No, let me go through it. Let me explain.
Please do.
Let me explain myself. I was that way at first in the sense of I didn't know anything about it. I just knew what I saw in the media, right? Like I saw people making fun of bronies. So I was like, haha, grown men that like My Little Pony, you're stupid, haha, and whatever. And then I actually had a friend. I was like, hey, dude, you want to come out of this thing like the college is doing? He was like, sure. So we meet up, and he's got a jacket on, and I'm like looking at the jacket. This is like a blue color, and there's like something on the hoodie, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, what kind of jacket is that? And he goes, oh, it's a Rainbow Dash hoodie. And I was like, what? What's a Rainbow Dash? And he goes, My Little Pony? And I've known this guy throughout high school, but I just didn't know like that much about him. So I was just taken aback. I'm like, you're a brony? He goes, yeah. And I was like, that's weird. So I was already kind of weird because it's one of those things. It's like knowing somebody who's like a murderer. It's like, wait, you've murdered somebody? Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I've known this guy for years and he didn't seem like that kind of person. Like I just had no idea. So then there was one day I was watching morning cartoons. And I can't remember what I was watching. It was on one of those cartoon channels, and there was a commercial that came on. It blew my fucking mind. It was a My Little Pony commercial for the show, but it was a parody of a Dos Equis commercial. It was the most ingenious fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I was laughing my fucking tits off. It was so funny because it's like a pony just like sitting in a chair, like it's like. Oh, this pony can eat all the apples in the orchard and still win a race with one leg behind its back. And then it's like, stay pony. Like it ended with stay pony, my friends. And I was like, did they just parody a beer commercial? A beer fucking commercial for a children's show. It blew my mind. So I was like, I have to see what it's about. I have to give it a chance. I have to watch it and see what it's about.
No, you don't.
I watched like the first
Please stop.
4 episodes.
Jesus Christ.
And no, here's the thing. I'm not into it. Like the thing is, it is a kid's show. But I can see the appeal.
You gave it 4 chances.
The animation, yeah, I gave it a chance. The animation is very
4.
solid. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's like it's enjoyable. If it was an Adult Swim show and instead of like they were like, hey, fucking Rainbow Dash, get your fucking pony ass over here, it would be an enjoyable show. It'd be funny. And then so the animation's good. The voice acting is really good. The music is fantastic right now. We're getting some great ambience right now. This is really different from the preaching music we were hearing like 10 minutes ago. It's
atypical for
way
here.
Different. But the voice acting is really good. It's got a lot of really great voice actors from like other TV shows and animes and stuff. And yeah, the story, it's a fucking kid's show. But like, and it wasn't my thing. I couldn't get into it, but I could see it. I could see where people could get into it. Now, yes, the whole brony crowd is very weird. Like when you see a brony, I still don't get it. But I don't find it any different than fucking 25-year-old dudes at like Adventure Time.
You know,
it's like you fucking like Adventure Time. Adventure Time is like the same shit.
Yeah, you know, I tease, but I actually know this really cool dude. He was into My Little Pony. Really nice guy. Sucked my dick. You know, a lot of volunteer work. So you know, I don't find anything wrong.
Wait, what was that?
What's up?
What was that thing you said?
Yeah, he was a nice guy. You know.
Yeah, no. After that.
He volunteered.
Oh, he did volunteer. What kind of volunteer work?
Yeah, you know, he picked up trash.
Oh, that's nice.
Sucked dudes off, whatever.
Oh,
you know, yeah.
I'll
botanical
volunteer
gardens.
to suck your dick.
just a solid dude. You know, you can't judge people by a few. You know,
all right, Mark,
flaws.
I'm coming clean. I'm a brony. What? You hate me? Do you hate me now? Do you want me to? No.
Are you really?
No. I was kidding. I just knew. It's like, I just was like, yeah, I gave it a chance. You're like, yeah, I knew a brony sucked my dick because he's a fucking fag.
Until I meet someone who's really just inspiring, and I see that they're motivated, and they're doing good, and they also just so happen, just a little bit, to casually, not all the time, but you know, it's decent. I like to kick my feet up and relax and watch a little My Little Pony, and you know, it's just the thing I like. You know, until I get to like someone like that, I'm like, oh, well, maybe.
I think the thing is, so there's certain like, because I've seen certain parts of it that like do interest me, because there are parts of it that I think are very funny. There's one character who is compared to Deadpool in the sense of all other characters take the show seriously and are part of the show. There's one of the ponies that will break the fourth wall like constantly. And it's like, or like we'll do stuff that's like the show is, yes, it's set in a magical realm, but she'll still do something that all the ponies go, how the fuck did you do that? Like she'll pull a cannon out of nowhere, and then they're like, where the fuck did you put that? She goes, don't worry about it, and then fires it off, and it's like, what?
I think you're talking about Periwinkle, right? Is that the?
No, I can't.
Is that the name of the pony?
But the YouTube show Death Battle, where they pit two like superheroes up against each other.
What?
Death Battle, on YouTube. They did like Goku versus Superman, and they did Vegeta versus Shadow the Hedgehog.
You mean, so it's a Dragon Ball Z show?
No, I just mentioned two Dragon Ball Z characters. They've also done Doomsday versus Hulk. They did Terminator versus RoboCop. But one of the episodes they did was Deadpool versus whatever the fuck that pony's name was.
Periwinkle.
And it's not fucking Periwinkle. A lot of the bronies are going to get pissed off. They're going to downvote this video. You
I already pretty much called them all. I pretty much said I really hate them and I don't respect them.
But it was one of those things that
fight me, you guys.
They show clips of like each character, whoever's going to do in the fighting, and the clips of that pony. I was like, that's actually pretty funny. Like the jokes were pretty solid. Like again, it was just like, she'd fucking look at the camera and be like, these fucking numbskulls, and it's like, oh shit, that's pretty funny.
That is.
I can get that.
That is pretty funny.
Shut up, you fucking. All right, this has been Off Border Podcast. Steven and Mark.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. We're gonna be done here. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. And please like, comment, subscribe, and please send Mark all the brony porn you can. Send him as much Twilight Sparkle hentai as you can muster. I know all you bronies out there, you have a shit ton on your computers. I know you do. You get caught with it all the time, you fucking pervs. So send it all to @MarkJoseph at yahoo.com.
Return to sender. Address not found.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente.